guys, welcome back. Bitmaster here. In this tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to write basically a visual keylogger. The reason I'm doing this is to show you guys how to write keyloggers, but I'm going to do this one in a highly visual manner, which basically means it's going to have a graphical interface and it's going to actually show you the output properly and stuff. This is going to be a low-level keyboard hooking example, so it will work 100% globally all throughout Microsoft Windows. It doesn't matter if you're on this program or another program, it will constantly capture the input and show you the input of the user's keyboard no matter where they're at in all of Microsoft Windows. So to do this, we're actually going to use the LL, or low-level keyboard hooking structure. This can be found on the MSDN site, learnmicrosoft.com, and the syntax of it, at least in C++, can be shown as this. So you've got like virtual keyboard code, scan code, your flags, time, and this DW extra info, and then all of your pointer structures where you're going to be pointing it to. These are D words, double words, and this is a U-long pointer. So just keep this in mind, guys. This right here is going to be very important for later. So let's go ahead and get going. Basically, to start things out, we're just going to do some designing, okay? So we're going to need to get ourselves a label. So we'll just grab one label. We're going to copy that, paste that, pop on down here. I'm going to grab ourselves a memo as well. So there's one memo, there's two memos, and then we're just going to drag that out like so. Just kind of make it as even as you can get it, guys. It really doesn't matter. This is just an example. I'm going to grab a couple of buttons. So we're going to throw a button down right here. And we're going to drag that over to there. I'm going to drag that to about right here. I'm going to copy that button, paste that button, make sure that those are even. Try to drag this over, make these even with the button. And then we're going to drag the form over as well. Now we're going to put this top label here to a caption of key hooking output. Key hooking output. And then we're going to save that, and we're going to come down and change this one to simulated typing. And we're going to pull that over here as well. Now, I'm going to try to get this right there in the center. I don't really care if those are centered or not, guys. I'm not a stickler. I'm just going to copy these two, or shift select the memo 1 and memo 2. We're going to go to the lines property, and we're going to take out any lines in there. So now you've got a blank program basically with button 1, button 2. Now button 1 is going to be to start the hook. So we're going to go hook. And then on the button 2 here, which it says button 1 because I copied it, but it's button 2. We're going to put this to unhook. And then we're going to save that project. The caption of the form is going to be keyboard hooking, or hook example. Okay, and then I'm going to change the icon. So we're going to go to the icon, and we're going to change that bad boy. We're going to load up the keyboard thing that I have here, and there you have it. Now I'm going to go to Project, Options, and wait for this window to pop up because we're going to change the theme. So when it comes up, you click on Appearance, and then you scroll down and find a theme that you can at least enjoy halfway. I'm going to do this one, I guess, just for shits and gigs, right? Okay, looking pretty good. Save. Okay, now we've designed our program in what, less than 30 seconds? Yay. So now we can get cracking on the code. Now this is a lot of code as far as functions and stuff that I would have to type in here for you guys. As you guys know, I don't like to sit here. I really don't want to sit here and make super long videos. So I'm going to copy and paste the code, but we are going to go over the code, okay? So I'll actually do the hook and unhook real fast. This just needs to say start hook, and the other button, you just want to put this to stop hook, like that. We're going to have a couple of procedures later. They're both red for now, but don't freak out, okay? So on this side of things, let's go ahead and start programming. So the first thing that we're going to need is actually our little our little type hook. So let's go up to the top of our code. For where you have type right here and then the tform1 class and all of the components within, make sure to just put that down a little bit, and you can start typing pretty much right here. So what I'll do is I will copy, because I'm not going to sit here and type all this out, guys. There's the structure that you're going to need, okay? And that will be just like that, okay? So now we have our type and we have our structure for all of our stuff. So I copied that directly from the Microsoft MSDN learnmicrosoft.com website right here is where I got that from, because this is an actual Microsoft Windows structure for the keyboard. Okay, this is the keyboard hook structure that we're looking at. And this contains information about a low-level keyboard input event. This is what this is the key information right here. This right here told me that this is essentially what I needed to do to be able to look at keyboard events at extremely low levels, right? So that's why we're using this in the code, right? Because that's the whole point, to be able to get that info and do stuff with it. So down here in the private declarations, we have to include first of all, we have to include both procedures that we're going to write, so I'm going to paste those in. And then we also have to include two more variables, which I have comments here to explain as we go along. And I will just, to make this look a little more professional, I'll put that right there in Control D. So we have an F hook handle, which is going to be the handle to the Windows keyboard hook that we're going to be messing with or creating on our keyboard. And then we have the current window. This is to track the active Windows title of the actual window where the user was typing into with their keyboard. In other words, the window that the user had focused while they were typing. You see what I'm trying to say there, guys? Super, super simple stuff, right? So now then, what we have to do is we're going to have some functions. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste these in just real quick. So just bear with me here, guys. Underneath the implementation section, we're going to start writing our functions. So I'm going to do one there. This is to get all the characters of a keyboard. Don't freak out. We're going to go over it, guys. Just bear with me. I have to also have a function grepped to get the key's name, which is going to be the key that was pressed. So this is the getting the key name of the virtual key that was actually pressed by the user, and we have special cases, like if it's escape or F1 through, all this stuff right here, like enter, backspace, tab, shift, whatever, just all these special cases, right? And also I believe for the numpad as well. We'll go over that too. But I'm not done, so just bear with me. Just bear with me, guys. I'm getting there. We also have to have one for our low-level keyboard process hooking functionality. So we're going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it right here. So that will be for that. And then I'm going to save this. And then let's take a quick peek at the forms create event procedure. So when the form does get created, we want these 3 lines of code to be in here. We're going to set the hook handle to nothing, and then we're going to set the window to nothing, and we're also going to add scroll bars to our memo too. And you know what? I'm going to erase this. Not necessary. Memo 2, we can put these scroll bars there by ourselves. We don't have to code that shit in. Just put both. And there, you're done. Now you don't got to worry about it. And honestly, I'm actually going to go ahead and just put those here as well. I'll just do vertical for this one, because this one won't have long information. It'll just show the events, and they just kind of pop out one by one. Down here, though, if a user types long stuff, you want to be able to see that. Okay, so that's all done and taken care of. We do want to stop this hook when the form closes. So if the user were to click the close button, we want to make sure that the keyboard hook gets closed without issue. So we're going to stop our hook there as well. We're not going to do any other code. We're not going to see if the hook is already in place. Stop hook will be fine enough. So now that we've got all that crap, we do need to implement, if you will, the start hook and the stop hook code. So if I go to start hook, you see these two are red. That's because we haven't programmed any procedures for them. So let's go down below all of our functions and to where our first actual procedure is located, and let's start creating procedures here. Now we're going to create a start hooking procedure. So I'm going to paste that in there. There's the start hook procedure, and then we're going to also do a stop hook procedure, which is just going to be super short code right there. Okay. This is the entirety of the project. It's done. The project is 100% written, and it is only about 230 lines of code. So let's go ahead and, just for shits and gigs, why don't I just go ahead and run it for you guys? I'm sure you're dying to see it, right? So let's make sure to run this, and let's go ahead and pop this on over and see if we can hook. And as you can see, the hook is successfully started, and I can begin typing. So if I click like down here on my desktop and type in A, it catches it immediately every single time. Now watch this, guys. If I backspace, back, and then I didn't back the last A. See that? But if I type 567 real quick, like instant, I did that as fast as I could, and it still caught it. This is extremely low level hooking. I mean, it's amazing. It catches it literally like right then and there. And as you can see, the log is kept up here at the time the user clicked it, and it has all this stuff in here. Like, see how I did it? It started the hook, you know, it keeps a log of all this stuff. But down here, it simulates the typing, including the backspaces. Pretty cool stuff, right, guys? So watch this. If I go, and this is going to capture all my typing while I'm in here, but I'm going to open up Notepad. So you see this Notepad document? Hey there, you know, like if I scroll down, it'll say, hey there on Notepad. You see that? You see? So if I say, yo, and then scroll down, you can see it's all right here. Yo. You see that, guys? If I backspace and then go down, it erased the last O on the YO. You see, it's perfect typing. It's amazing, right? So this is literally the perfect example of a keyboard hook. So now that we know that it works 100%, let's go over the programming, okay? So guys, let's go ahead and pop into the code, scroll all the way to the top. Let's take this as best we can from top to bottom. I'm going to explain every line of code, and I'm going to try to do this as quickly and as accurately as humanly possible so we can make this video at least shorter than the others I've made throughout this week. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create your type structure. Now, guys, this code right here is all auto-generated. I hope you guys know that. This is all auto-generated, not these per se, but this is all auto-generated. So if you guys are looking at this like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing, man, Delphi does this for you. You guys are babied and pampered. This stuff right here, this is completely auto-coded for us. We didn't do jack. I didn't write that. You understand that? So all we're doing is writing this line and these lines and make sure you've got a type above it. Now, before this was here, I'll actually take this out here. Let me copy that and erase it. It looked just like this before. You kind of see that, guys, right? It looked like that before, but I added this in. You get that? I added the structure and the end for the type. And then all of this for the class of the T-Form1, this is already pre-written for us. So the only thing we're doing um, and I'll back this up a little, is we're just adding in our structure. This is a pointer to the structure, and this is a record for that structure. And if you'll look on the MSDN website, learnmicrosoft.com, whatever, this is where I got that code from. This is a Windows API. So this just, like I said, it contains information about a low-level keyboard input event. These two keywords right here is how I figured this out. So in this, you just want to have your virtual keyboard code. This is a double word representation of the key that was actually pressed, the code for the key that was actually pressed. It has a scan code, which is just a hardware scan code. I'm guessing that's probably something to do with like keyboard driver, something or another, like what keyboard pressed it or something maybe. I don't know. I really don't. Honestly, this is kind of like meh to me. I don't really get what this is. Maybe down below we can kind of look through the code and see. I don't actually think that here. Let me double click that real quick, and we'll go down through here a bit. Yeah, I didn't even use it at all. I didn't think I did. It was just something there that I just wanted to make sure it was fully there, because if you call this record, this structure, without that, you'd probably get errors. Anyway, here's the flags, which are the key event flags: extended key, context code, etc., etc. That's easy to understand. And then the time, this is obviously the timestamp of the event that happened from the keyboard, right? And then the extra information, this is just additional platform specific information, and honestly, I don't even remember using that at all either. I just left it on. The only things I cared about, guys, seriously, out of this whole thing, was just getting the virtual key codes and showing them. That's pretty much it. Now, I did have to do some conversion, like with the key codes. I had to convert from key codes to actual characters and stuff like this and that, but basically, the only things you guys are interested in are the time, the key code, and of course the flags as well, I suppose. Which I may have came up with my own way of doing that, to be honest with you. Here, let me see. I don't think that I even used that down here. Hardly at all. None. Nope. None. Not at all. So quite literally, the only thing out of this whole keyboard record structure is just the keyboard code, which is the actual character for the virtual key that was pressed, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, F, 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then the time, and that's pretty much it. So make sure you've got your structure, okay? That's the first thing you want to do. And then down below, we're going to have to follow the flow. So let's follow the flow. When I start hooking something, so let's look at this start hook code right here. The first thing we're going to do is create a buffer, which is an array of 0 to 255 of character. This represents the possible array of like characters that can be clicked on a keyboard, right? Follow me so far, guys? If our hook handle, if our hook handle is 0, which it is, because remember back on form create how we set it to 0 to start with? You see that, guys? You kind of get that? In our current window, we set it as nothing because we don't know where the user is. Like the user could be on google.com. We don't know. We're just going to put it to nothing, right? This is just reset variables, if you will, right? So, so on this, for the start hook, we'll go back. So we have our buffer of characters that could possibly be clicked on a keyboard. If our hook handle is 0, then obviously we haven't begun anything yet. So we have to set that hook handle to an API of set Windows hook X, which is a Windows API call to set a low-level keyboard hook. And we're doing it at our low-level keyboard procedure functionality here, which I'm going to go to here in just a second, and we're going to do it on this application, this instance, and then 0 at the end. What this will do is if it's still 0 after we try to set this through Microsoft Windows, that means the keyboard hook failed. So if it fails for any reason, we're going to put the hook failed. If it was successful, though, which means if f hook handle is anything but 0, it means it was successful. So we're going to say that the hook started successfully. And then we're going to start initializing all of our window tracking stuff. You kind of get me there, guys? Remember how I showed you how when we ran it, it was able to see everything I did in every window? We're going to get the Windows text of the foreground window, buffer of 256 characters. We're going to set the f current window, which is a string of that buffer that we just captured of the foreground window. You follow me? And then we're going to say the memo 2.lines, this is the window that he's currently in, and then we're going to add a bunch of 50 equals so that way it like looks more professional. Like here, I'll run it again. We'll just pull it over here, click on hook. You see how it says it successfully started it, and then it put 50 of these. You see that, guys? You get it? Kind of cool, right? So that's what that does if it successfully does that and whatnot. Now the stop hook, we'll just go over that real fast. If hook handle is anything but 0, or in other words, if it's not equivalent to 0, then that means we have a stop hook to deal with, right? So that means we need to stop handling the keyboard events. So we unhook Windows X f hook handle, the handle to the hook that we have. We reset the hook handle back to 0, and we add to memo 1 and 2 hook stopped, and then 50 of these equals on the memo 2. So here, watch. If I click run, and you click on hook, then it says it started successfully. Here's the window that you're currently in, and this is the window we're currently in. See, it says keyboard hook example because we were in this window when we started the hook. Follow me, guys? Really super cool stuff, right? And then this goes like 50 times, right? Now, if I click unhook, it just says the hook stopped, and we did 50 more of these to show that it stopped down here. And I didn't do anything, so it looks like garbage, but in between here is where the user's keyboard hooking, like the keylogger, would actually show you data. Okay, so now that you understand the start hook and the stop hook, super, super simple stuff, right, guys? We're going to go back to the start hook, though. We're going to go back here and we're going to take a closer look because we got to go up all through this code and understand what the hell we're looking at. So this is the hook handle where we call a Windows API called setWindowsHookX. So if you guys want to actually take a look at that, you're more than welcome to. You just hold down Control and click on it, and it'll open up the WinAPI.Windows unit, and you can see this is the function that you're looking for, which calls an external user32 name, setWindowsHookXW. And you can go through the documentation at Microsoft if you would like to kind of look at this and stuff. So like this would be like we could actually try to click on that and see if we can go to these, and they're like down below, but if you scroll down enough you'll find them and you can see kind of what they're doing. You kind of get my drift on that. But I'm not going to do that because we're just assuming that from this documentation it already knows what to do with the keyboard. It's already set up, it's already programmed. These are things that we didn't have to write, right guys? So I'm calling Windows Hook keyboard low level, okay, and we're doing it at our low level keyboard proc, so, or process, whatever, procedure if you want. That's what it is, proc, procedure. So we're going to hold down Control, click on this portion here, and we are going to we're going to go through this and talk about it. Actually, one other thing real quick here, guys. Let me go to start hook again. This H instance, this means this program, meaning this exe that we're actually in. Okay, so the keyboard hook handle is actually being started from us. You follow me, right? So it's being started from our exe. Now we're going to go back up to this and start. We're going to take a peek at this. So this is the function which returns a standard call of lresult. We're going to take a look. It has code, which is an integer, a wparam, which is wparam, lparam, which is an lparam. This is Windows API crap, okay, guys? So you need to kind of brush up on Windows API if you want to truly get what this does. I'm going to take you through just really, really carefully. So a hook, in this case, is our PKB DLL hook struct, or this is actually pointer, a pointer to this, okay? So technically hook is now a pointer to this, right? So what we're going to do next, win is a string, shift is a boolean, so whether or not the user has the shift key held in and pressed would change the entire output of everything. So like if they have shift held, then obviously all of the characters on the keyboard A through Z are going to be in caps, but also not only that, we also have to detect for things like, like function, and if they're pressing special characters, etc., stuff like this and that. So just understand that for now, shift is boolean, whether or not true or false they have it pressed or not. Character is the string. Position is an integer, combo keys are strings, and a buffer is just the array of characters that could possibly be clicked on a keyboard, okay? So it's an array of 255 possible characters, right? So if the code is equal to HC action and the wparam is equal to the key is down, then the hook is going to be the pointer to that, the keyboard structure that we made up here, way up top, right? Right here, see? So this event has now been tied into, and we can see what's happening. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get the current title of the window and normalize it to a string. So guys, let me run this real quick. If I hook this and I go to my start button and I type in hello, you see how I'm in the Windows Start menu and I typed hello? that's what this code is doing. I want to keep this up so we can kind of see it a little bit. But like, when you we get the Windows text, so it got the Windows text of the Windows Start menu in this case, up to 256 characters. Because I mean, what type of application has like 10,000 characters for a name? You know what I'm saying? It sounds really stupid. So we just put 256 because I mean, look, this only has keyboard, hook, example, you know, like the captions for Windows forms and stuff. So we're getting the Windows text of whatever Windows in the foreground to its buffer of 256 characters. In this case, it was Window Start Menu, which is nowhere near 256 characters. You get what I'm saying, guys? So then we're saying when is equal to string replace the buffer that we just pulled from that text from that foreground window, in this case Windows Start Menu, and we replaced every single star with nothing. Okay, so if it has an asterisk in it for any reason, we're taking it out. Um, and the reason for this, I actually had some issues in my earlier attempts at this, and for some reason, if there was an asterisk in there, I think something bad happened. I couldn't really remember what, but I took all the asterisks out um, because we don't. An asterisk is also not. It's considered a special character, and we don't want to see that inside of our. I think it might have just been for me, guys. I may have just been a stickler for it. I didn't want to see it in here because it was messing with me when I was trying to do special characters whenever I was making this thing, and it kind of pissed me off. So that's why I took that out. And we're going to say that shift is equal to get the key state, the current key state of VK shift, less than 0. So this basically determines if whether or not the shift was held down or not, okay? Now, with our form 1, which is this whole form, we're going to say with form 1 do begin, and we're going to say if when, which is our thing of the window that we're currently looking at, right? In this case, it was the start menu. If the wind is not the current window, then begin memo2.text.lines, nothing, and then we're going to add the window and the window's name of whatever window is currently active. And then we're going to say memo2.lines.add the string of the characters like equals 50 times. You see kind of like what this did here. It did the windows 50 times right here, and then it did the typing, right? You kind of follow me? That's kind of cool, right, guys? Like it separates everything out nice and professional. So you see this is the window you're on, these are a bunch of equals, and this is the text the user put in. Pretty cool, right? And then we're going to set the current window to that window. Then we're going to build the modifier key combination string. So combo keys is equal to nothing, and combo keys is a string. If you'll remember from up here, combo keys is a string. So combo keys is equal to nothing. If get key state of VK control is less than 0, then combo keys equals combo keys, and then we're doing these different like we're setting the combo keys to the combo keys plus control, and we're also going through if they had shift pressed, and we're setting combo keys that means shift plus the key state of the VK menu. Combo keys is equal to alt, and we have to iterate, guys. We have to iterate through every single possible case scenario. So if the user has alt pressed, if the user has control pressed, if the user has shift pressed, if the user has, you know, all this stuff possibly pressed, then we have to add that to the combo keys because we need to check the combo keys to see what the VK code truly is for the key that's being pressed. You kind of get that, guys? I really hope you do. It's super simple. If you were holding down your shift key and the user held down shift and pressed A, then it would be a capital A, an uppercase A character, right? Because if you didn't have the shift key pressed, then it would be a lowercase a. You follow me? So that's all we're doing, guys. We're just checking this crap to make sure that the user does have all this crap pressed or not pressed. Based on that, we want to add to the combo keys so we can do stuff with it later, right? So then we're going to add the date and format time now plus combo keys plus the get key name of the hook pointer of the hook pointer's virtual keyboard code. Now, hang on. This is a big part. I'm going to have to cut us off right here because we got to go to get key name now, okay? So let's go up to that. Now this is a relatively short one, okay? Here's the function get key name. So remember, we went through all this to see if they had this stuff pressed, and then we added the combo keys, and then now we're trying to loop every single possible scenario to see what key was truly pressed, and that is get key's name, where we're going to convert it from a VK code to an actual character. So that returns, like I told you, an actual character. A VK code is a D word, right? Because if we go back up to the top, you can see that virtual keyboard code is a D word, right? So then inside of this, we're converting that D word to a string. We're going to return a string. So if the case of the virtual keyboard that was virtual keyboard code of the character that was pressed of escape, F1 through F24, the and the virtual keyboard codes, this whole thing just iterates through the keyboard and gives you exactly what you need to see. So as you can see, this would be an F plus antistring, VK minus VKF1 plus 1. This is just a way of getting all the F keys, okay, guys? And then this is a return, which would be enter, backspace, VK back, VK space, VK tab. We're converting virtual keyboard codes on the left here to a string of what we want it to be on the right. And I didn't just put the word enter or backspace or space tab. I put them inside of little like brackets because I thought it looked more professional. You guys are more than welcome to change that and do whatever the hell you want, right? So then we've got capital, tab, left, right, up, down, delete, insert, all this stuff, right? And then we're going to handle regular characters and unknown keys as well. Now I had to do this because honestly, guys, I've tested the crap out of this. I think I've got majority of this stuff down, but I'm pretty sure I'm missing stuff too. So I'm handling it like this. I'm saying if the virtual keyboard code pressed is greater than or equal to the ordinal of 0 and the VK keyboard code that was pressed is less than or equal to ordinal Z, then that means that it's just going to return the result of the character of A through Z for this one, or it's going to, else it's going to return the integer type as a string. So this is handling A through Z basically, and this is handling 1 through 0, right? You follow me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0, right? Follow me? Easy as hell, right? So now let's pop back down to this. So we were looking at this. So when we do this, we are going to, let's just take another quick peek here, guys. I'm trying to find where I was. Here's the combo keys where we do all the checking, and then we also get the key name. So we're going to say we're going to add those lines that the user clicked and typed in shit. We're going to get the combo keys plus the get key name. We're passing all of this combo keys to the get key name for the hook pointer to the virtual keyboard code that was actually clicked, and that is going to then add the combo key and the actual key's name that was pressed to the memo 1. And the memo 1, if you'll remember, is the top memo. So if I like hold down like shift and S, it just typed there. But let me like go here, and I'll oh, sorry guys, being silly. Gotta hook it first. Alright, I'm gonna go to the start menu and I'm gonna hold down shift. You see how I held shift and S? It actually pops in shift plus S was pressed. You get it? These two were shift, by the way. The 160s, those were just shift alone. And this is what I'm talking about. These are incomplete. Like instead of showing 160, I should be showing shift. And I've got the code in here to do it, as you can clearly see. I just need to fix it up a little bit and it'll do it. But there you have it. That's how it works, guys. Really cool stuff, right? So we're adding the combo key plus the key that was pressed, and then we're going to handle this typing simulation. Now this is the really cool part, and it's actually super short code, guys. Basically, it's just this bit of code right here. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a case statement in Delphi. So case statements are done in integer values that could be returned. So we're doing the case of this hook pointer's VK code that was pressed of VK back. We're going to actually handle a backspace, and I'm actually handling it in a really simple way. All we're doing is just deleting one character off the position end of the memo too. That's all we're doing. So like we're setting the position equal to select start. So select start of the memo -1. The text is equal to copying every bit of text that's inside of the memo 2, and then the select start is equal to position, which is -1 of the thing. So we're just it's like this, guys. It's like, let me see if I can type. I'm actually going to type it. It's like we're going to pretend it's in this one. So if I type a bunch of crap, we're literally taking the caret, the typing caret or whatever from the beginning. We're copying all the text, putting it to the end, just like that, and I'll just let you guys see that it's blinking there, and then erasing the last character. That's literally all I've done in code. How pretty, and that's pretty fucking cool, right? Like, it's really simple stuff. So then that is how I handle a backspace to actually simulate the deletion of a backspace character if someone had the keylogger on them and they pressed backspace, it would erase that character out of the thing. If it's returned, we're going to add a line with blanks, which means it's going to go down. So guys, again, easy stuff. If I type in a bunch of crap and I press enter, it's actually going to press enter twice, technically speaking. It's going to go down one extra line like that. So there's literally a line here added with a space like that. It's kind of like that. You see what I'm getting at? All right, so then I'm going to handle regular typing. So a character is a get character of this keyboard hook's pointer of virtual key code shift, and it's passing the shift param true or false, and I'm pretty sure that is actually Boolean. Yep, it is. Okay, so there's that, and then we're going to say if the character is not nil or nothing, then with memo2, we're going to set the position to the end. We're going to copy all the text all the way to the end, and we're going to do +1 because we're adding a character, right? Then we're going to add that character. We're going to add that character to the end, and the result of this whole thing, which we'll be calling the key call next hook X, which is the next getting ready set up for the next key to be copied now, or to be captured from the low-level keyboard hook. Now, hang on, we need to pull back a little bit here, guys. So this character right here that I just told you about, we're going to get character. This is a whole different function. We're going to go through this function now. So let me hold down Control. I'm going to click on get character. Okay, now focus up here, guys. This is the last one, and then we're done. And hopefully this video will be less than 50 minutes. This function is called getChar, or getCharacter, right? It has a virtual keyboard code, which is a D word. If you'll remember all the way to the top, this is always, virtual key code is always a D word according to the structure. So we have a D word, and we have shift is a Boolean. Now remember, guys, I passed that on. Remember how I passed a get character, and then I passed the keyboard code hook pointer, and I passed that whether or not shift was being pressed? Because again, up here, remember how I told you, we're handling if whether or not shift is Boolean. We're checking if shift is a get key state of shift less than 0, we're making it true or false equal to this, okay? So if shift is pressed, then it's greater than 0, it's true. If it's less than 0, then it's false. You get what I'm saying? You get that, guys? Super basic, simple stuff, right? So, so again, let's go back to get character. So we're going to set up some shift characters, which is an array ordinal 0 to 9 of character also equal from this little thingy, this little thing on the left of your keyboard there, the tally or whatever it is, all the way through special characters like @ exclamation mark, hashtag, $, %, upper caret, and asterisk, and open and close parentheses. Okay, so this is just a thing which can tell the differences between these, right? And we're going to say if the case of the virtual keyboard code that was pressed is ordinal A all the way to ordinal Z, which this handles letters A with proper case, A through Z caps, okay? If not shift, then the result is equal to the virtual keyboard code plus 32, which will convert it automatically to lowercase being pressed, right? So then the result, that would be the result for lowercase if the shift was not pressed true. If the shift was not pressed at all, then it would, we want to, if the shift was not pressed, then we want it to be lowercase, okay? If the shift was pressed, we want to keep the uppercase characters. So the result is just equal to the character of the exact VK code that was actually sent to the get character, okay? The get character function up here. So then we're going to handle numbers and their shifted symbols. So we're going to say ordinal 0 to ordinal 9. So 0 through 9. Well, actually, it's because we're doing it with ordinal, it's 0 through 9, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. So again, guys, we're doing the same thing. We're just saying if shift is true, then we're going to shift those characters. So again, these shift characters right here, 0 through 9 and all this stuff right here, the result is equal to shift characters and the VK code that we have for it. So if shift is pressed, when you press a number, then we're going to convert it to one of these that's appropriate for the number that was pressed. You kind of get that? And we're using the ordinal thing to do that with. So if shift, then the result would be the shift character's VK code of whichever one of these was actually pressed. Now, if shift was not pressed, then we're going to actually report the character's VK code, which in that case would literally be a 0 through 9, okay? Now we're going to handle special characters. So where we got VK space, tab, OEM1, plus, comma, minus, period, OEM2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, what these are, guys, these are special characters on the right side of your keyboard. I also believe that this is for the numpad, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I believe this also covers the numpad. Actually, no. This is the numpad down here. This is just all the special characters on the right side of your keyboard. Well, not just the right side, all sides, I suppose. But this is handling the numpad numbers. So some of these will be the same for the numpad, but as far as the numbers, we need to make sure that we're handling that with VK numpad 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all that stuff. So what I've done is just said the VK numpad 0 through numpad 9 is the result of the character ordinal 0 plus the virtual keyboard's code minus the virtual numpad 0. That way it gets all the numbers from the virtual keypad in one line of code. Pretty cool, right? Else the result is equal to nothing because I didn't have any return value for those unhandled keys, okay? And that, guys, that explained every line of code in this whole thing. I really hope I did a good job explaining it. Make sure I didn't forget anything. I'm sure I didn't. We already did all this. So we've gotten our buffer, we've come down, we got our window thing. Yep, I've explained all this to you guys. Super simple stuff. So I'll run it again so you guys can clearly see. I'm actually going to open up a notepad. So I've got notepad open now, and I'm gonna hook this. And as you can see, when I hook it, I'm focused on this window. So it's going to say keyboard hook example as it does right here. You see that? Now I'm going to click on notepad and I'm going to type the word, I'm just going to type H, capital H. So you see that? You see how it knows that we're inside of notepad and we typed a capital H? Now I'm going to type E-L-L-O for hello. You see that? So it's shift plus H, E-L-L-O, hello. And this is the simulated typing. I'm simulating some typing down here. And those 3 dots at the end, I'm going to click enter and type, this is a new line. You see how I told you guys it would put a little space in between here? Like a little space like with nothing in it? That's exactly what it did. So if I put ... you can see that I can take these dots off if I were to backspace, like back, back, back. You see, it just erases the last thing at the end of all the string value. It just erases the last character inside of the memo, and that's how I'm simulating backspace, if you will. So pretty cool stuff, right, guys? And this will literally work in anything. It would even work in games. Like it literally doesn't matter where the user is. This keyboard hook should be a true system-wide low-level keyboard hook. So there it is, guys, and I'm going to unhook this now. And as you can see, when I unhooked it, it just put a bunch of these to simulate that we are done, and it says hook stopped up here. So again, guys, just to reiterate, this is just the raw output of a timestamp and the characters that are actually being pressed by the user. And this is the simulated typed results that this generated, like by the user typing on their keyboard. So see that it shows everything they pressed up here, even shows the backspaces they pressed how many times. But down here it actually performed simulation and actually took out those last three periods that were right here, right? So that's that, guys. I hope that you really enjoyed this tutorial. I hope I explained everything well enough for you. I will have the source available to you on GitHub, so please check out my GitHub profile. I'm going to save all this. I'm going to comment every single thing in here again, just so that you guys will understand, how simple this truly is. And yeah, you can definitely go over to GitHub and grab the source and make it your own. Again, you don't have to use this example. I mean, you can literally copy the code out of here. Literally just copy this type and copy the procedures and functions that I had. Where you output to this, you could easily convert that into some sort of I don't know, some sort of a socket sending thing if you wanted to send it over a network. If you guys are like system admins and you want to build some sort of thing to watch your employees or whatever, just make sure you got legal access to be able to do so and you'll be all good. But in any case, that is that. I really hope you guys enjoy everything I'm doing for you. I'm going to have a lot more videos coming, so stay tuned. And until the next one, happy coding. Peace out, guys.